Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is having a great morning so far. I am break even. I've only taken 2 trades this morning, a win and a loss. I lost like $20 more on the trade than I should have because my ATM wasn't in there for whatever reason. But it was a manual entry, so. And then there's 2 trades that I wouldn't even say, well, I was in the bathroom at the time anyway. And I don't know if I would have taken it because the entry bar was on the prior close and the current open at the same time. Now, I used to trade that way, but I think a couple of weeks ago I got burned on a trade like that. So I didn't know if I can't trade that way anymore, or maybe because of the slight adjustments that I've made to the strategy over the last couple of weeks. I don't know if maybe I can trade that way now. So I don't know. It's something that probably in my free time I'll just go through like a month's worth of data, look at all the times that the entry bar was on both levels up there and see what happens. Because like I said, I used to be able to trade that way. So we'll see. But both of those trades from earlier won. And we've touched the VWAP, so I can't take that buy anymore. Good morning, Trenches. How are you? So after yesterday's slaughterhouse, same thing as last Wednesday where it caused me to go through the data a little bit differently. Every time I go through my backtest data, even though it's not complete yet, I do analyze it a little bit different. Yeah, so that caused me to analyze things way different, and I think every loss that I took yesterday could have been mitigated. So again, like I said before, you know, I pay more attention to losses when I'm going through the backtest data and trying to figure out the rules that need to be had to filter through the losses, because most of the time my losses all have the same like variables that's causing the loss, whether it's a volume variable, VWAP variable, like something, right? How it rotates over certain levels. So yeah, every single loss could be mitigated. And then there's like other little things that I didn't pay attention to. So we'll see what happens, but I think those changes were definitely needed. I ended up like at the bottom of my physical trade journal, I had wrote down like each of the trades that I lost yesterday, the type, like the setup that it was. And then from there, I basically at the bottom of it, I took that particular setup, the variable that I was looking at, and I went through the backtest data looking for that specific variable to see like if that was the problem, and it was. So I was able to like recognize very quickly and easily what the issue was. So that was a good thing. I made one post and now I can't post nothing in Discord. They kicked you? I mean, they banned you? I mean, no, they timed you out. What was your post about? What did you do, Trenches? Did they delete your post? Oh, wait. That's an off topic. Did you post an off topic? Were you the person that they deleted the messages from? Alright, wait a second. I really only hang out in the main channel, so I don't be knowing what's going on in the other channel. And I haven't been in there this morning. Most of the time, I don't go in there until after I'm done trading. At 8:56. Timed him out. Normally people they time out, they post the message and why. But I don't see anything about you. You posted at 8:56 in the main chat? I wanted to make sure that oh, happened to me. I was selling those, so it was in my favor. I had to restart my internet to make sure I wasn't tripping when randomly flooded it. Oh no. Okay, I don't understand why they would time you out for that. And I can't see. Does it say how long they timed you out for? These people. For me, if somebody's just saying that they're having issues, I don't really understand the problem. I mean, is she always trying to post links? Be quiet. Anyway, my only issue is when a bunch of other people starts to say that they have issues and these people don't be having issues. Like, they'll look at that person's account and they didn't even take any damn trades. That'd be my issue with people. Like, come on now. Stop. But aside from that, so basically, you entered a trade, but for you, you were entering a sale, so it ended up working out in your favor, whereas the other guy, he entered a buy, and he was filled way lower, so he got screwed. Ooh, what if... Oh, I wouldn't have gotten filled there anyway. Guess the head mod didn't like I said first in first. Fuck around and find out because she kept saying that, so I said it. Now I can't post. I don't think it's that part. Because, okay, first of all, I will hope that you don't time somebody out for putting FAFO if you yourself use FAFO. It probably wasn't her. Honestly, she doesn't really time out that much. It's all the other people that do most of the timing out. But she could have, though. I'm not taking up for her. She could have timed you out. But it probably was one of the other people who have ego problems. If I'm being honest. If I'm being honest. We're kind of like stuck here at my major level and where the minor level changed from a downtrend to an uptrend. They're like literally about the same area. So it's trying to push through here to create structure above, or it's going to continue to reject. We had a little bit of divergence here in an attempt to reject. Now we're trying to create the lower high. And I still don't know how I want to trade the regular pullbacks to my major level. I got the divergence down packed, but it is going to take me a little bit more time to figure out how to do that, because most of the time if I get a valid regular pullback at the level, it's typically going to show me that price is going to reject and just plummet, or surge higher if we're going for a buy. In this instance, it was a plummet. So based on like how I already have things written out, that sell was good. But I didn't really have a whole lot of examples in my back testing, so it's kind of difficult to say yay or nay just yet. I'm almost certain I know how I want to do it, but we'll see. We will see. I'll probably try to backtest that this weekend. This is not really a huge deal at the moment, really. Good morning, T-Money. You might be done trading today. You took a L pre-market, not double checking your bias. I'm sorry to hear. It's like that sometimes. Sometimes we late getting onto the charts. We rush our analysis. It happens. It happens. But as long as it doesn't happen often, I would just say if you do decide to keep trading, to make sure you're patient and make sure you're double checking and triple checking whatever your setup is, to make sure that that's exactly how you want to trade. Because that's the last thing you want to do, is lose because you weren't analyzing right. That for me is like what irritates me the most. My strategy just not working out at the time because it's not fully put together doesn't bother me. It's when I have set rules and I still like look at my cheat sheet wrong. Like, girl, why did you look on that side? You're supposed to be on this side, kind of thing. So I definitely understand. It could be super frustrating for sure. For sure. So we had a nice rejection off my major level right here. We came and bounced off of the VWAP, and that's what's pushing it up right now. We'll see what happens with this first push back down, if it decides to do it here before it gets back up to, never mind, it's back at the major level now. It's at 268.25. I could tell this morning that it was going to be a pretty slow morning. If I show you, so these are the two trades that I missed while I was in the bathroom, but I wouldn't have taken them because, as you can see, both of the entry bars for these two trades. They rotated over the current open and the prior close. And like I said earlier, I used to trade this, but I got burned on a trade like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. So I thought that maybe I can't trade this way anymore, but more than likely it was just that it was because of certain variables that I needed to fix in these particular setups for the strategy itself. So this trade one, this one you could see pulled back and came one tick from where it would have stopped me out, and then it just went straight up from there. So, but that happened at almost 8:40. So for me not to have a valid setup until after the first, well, around the first 10 minutes, whack. So then I got into a buy here. It was rotating over my major level, so I was trying to take the trade on the rejection, and or no, I was trying to take a trade to try to push through it. It did not. I got stopped out, and then I entered a sell off of the divergence, rejection off of it, and won that one. And that was the last trade that I took, actually. And since then, the only trade that I can say that could possibly be valid is this sell right here off of my major level. But like I said, I only take divergence there at the moment until I solidify the rules of how I want to trade this. It's so far followed my rules, but I'm not comfortable yet taking it because I didn't. Maybe if I finish my back test this weekend, I'll only do it for this and probably the 1 bar pullback. Because at this point, I think the rules for all of the other setups are set in stone. I might need to adjust a couple of things. There's only like maybe 2 or 3 more question marks on my screen. Not my screen, on my cheat sheet at this point. So just solidifying that and the 1 bar pullback, I think I'll be good. I think I'll be good. Good morning, Rio. How are you this morning? Did you do a little pre-market trading this morning or what? Also, you guys, I am thinking about, so you guys know that I use the accounts dashboard, what I show you guys at the end of every stream, showing my balance and stuff, and my trail and drawdown on each account. I'm actually thinking about purchasing his trade copier. So the guy with, well, his company, that vendor is who I also have my indicator that gets me in and out of trades with the close bar chart trader. And when I tell you guys, he just has really high quality indicators. They can be kind of expensive sometimes, even though the name is Affordable Indicators. Affordable for who? For some of them. But I really am thinking about purchasing it, and I'm going to tell you why. So I currently use the Apex copier, and I'm on the older version, like before the version right before they started putting all those red flatten all buttons and stuff. When it first came out, as soon as I upgraded and I opened that thing and saw those red buttons everywhere, it gave me such high anxiety. I uninstalled it and I went back to the old one. However, someone did ask me about the copier and asked me which version I use, and I told them I think the version I'm on is like from maybe last October or something like that. Well, I went into the copier that day so I could see what version it was, and that version is no longer there. The only version that's listed is the one that they just released maybe like 10 days ago. So I know that basically, if I ever have anything going on with my computer where I have to uninstall everything, reinstall, I'm going to be stuck with that new copier. Or if I get another device, it's no way for me to get the old version on there. So knowing that, I don't want the new one. I just don't. Number one, too many people have issues with it, and some of it is user error, but I think some of it is also like complexity. Like the old version is so simple. It's so simple, and the new version just has too much going on with desyncing. And I get the purpose behind some of the additions to it, but I like simplicity. I don't need all that extra stuff. I know how to flatten myself. I don't need nothing desyncing. I don't need any of that. So I'm thinking about getting his trade copier. It's listed for $295, but there's a 40% discount until the 22nd. And I think I saw something in the email where if you purchase through one of their partners or if you reach out to them, you could get, I think, an additional 20% off. So I'm probably going to do that. I'm also going to reach out to him because um, he and I worked together with fixing some of the issues with the close bar indicator when it first came. Well, when I first purchased it, I was having some issues. And so, I was able to show him timestamps with certain things and he was able to fix it. I think that was the only time I had an issue with it. It took him a couple of weeks to figure out the issue, but he's just a very cool guy and he listens to his customers. And so I was watching, he put out like a 30-minute video yesterday on all the updates that he's done to the copier. And I'm amazed personally. So I'm probably going to purchase it. And I don't want to miss out on a discount. I'm just one of those people where like, discount me please. And I know that it's high quality, so I'll let you guys know if I end up purchasing it. More than likely I will. And I did tell him when I purchased his very first, the close bar indicator, and this was probably over a year ago at this point, I did tell him like, hey, just so you know, at some point I'm probably going to do YouTube because I do have another YouTube channel, and I'll probably want to be able to partner up and get a discount code so that if anyone is interested in any of your products, they can get an extra discount. So I will keep you guys updated on that. I'll probably text him sometime today or sometime later this week. I do have something to do when I get off the charts. So we'll see, and I'll keep you guys updated with that. But yeah, I definitely am heavily considering. Heavily. Because let's see, 295 minus 40%. Minus an additional 20%. It'll be less than 150. I think I could do that. I actually got his accounts dashboard, I think, for about 150 as well, because he was running a pretty good sale at the time. And even though we know sales, come here and there, especially during holidays and stuff, I'm cool with the sale that he has now because I don't think I've seen a better sale. I think it usually 40% off is like the highest that he goes, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see, but that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. We have crude oil coming in 7 minutes, just so you are aware. Still low impact, so it probably only really moves much on crude oil. All right, so at this point, we've we've broken the major level of 268. So we're going to attempt to push higher and go into an uptrend bias. Well, back to an uptrend bias because that's where we started at the beginning of the session. So there's the zone that I want to see it break. Oh, that looks ugly on a 2-minute chart. Oh my gosh. This is why I prefer Rinkos. This 2-minute chart looks crazy. That looks insane. How do you trade that? Besides maybe trying to catch the bottoms. It just amazes me how certain charts look because I don't, of course, with me trading Rinkos, I don't ever see the charts looking like that. Oh, is he not going live today? I guess not. I guess not. We're at the overnight high right here. So we also just pushed out of that zone as well. Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. This is happening more today. There's like one other thing I do want to go through in my back tests too. And it's something that I didn't write down any trades for, but I started noticing the pattern of that today. I'm not today, this week. And I think I already, well, that one, well, no, I can do that one. Very interesting. All right, we have broken the zone. We do have the prior high sitting behind this resistance level right there, the major resistance level. I have decided I'm not taking any trades at the major resistance or support level, even if it's a sell at resistance and buy at support. It's just going through the data. Everything else could set up right, and just because it touched that major level, the trade doesn't work out. So guess what? We'll just stay away from it. Very easy to do. I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna get into this sale. I did download a different volume indicator, which I'm probably gonna throw on my chart after I get off the stream. Oh, come on. Nope. Nope. Wait, 78, 75. This could technically be counted as a touching the VWAP here. The low of the candle was 78.75 and the order flow VWAP was at 78.53, which if I round up could be considered 75. So, and I also was going back towards the overnight high. It sounds weird, but I prefer taking buys going back towards it and sales going back towards the low. And also, I'm just dumb because news is in a minute. Really, it's because news is in a minute. I'm not even supposed to do that. Trade-Evade is still giving you issues. I totally forgot about news, and I have it so big on my screen. So that trade's my fault. You like candlesticks though? It helps you understand true price, but it does get crazy on the lower time frames. See, if I traded regular candlesticks, I would be on the lower time frames. I can't. The way stuff looks like on a even 1 minute chart. I can't. Did you guys see one of the mods posted last night? He got a $900,000, I think it was $982,000 payout. I actually knew before he posted it in the chats, and it looks like most of the other mods didn't know either, but I knew. He told me, when did he reach out to me? I think it was Sunday, maybe Sunday or Monday. We were talking about something else. And yeah. So, of course, when you withdraw that much, Apex essentially forces you to go live. So when they ask you to go live, and this is not information that he told me, I've already heard this before. He didn't tell me anything. But basically, if you decide that you don't want to go live, you can't trade their sim accounts for a period of time. I think it's 12 months. I think. I don't know how many live traders they have, because it seems like most people just decline and are willing to sit out and just rather invest their money and come back. Which I kind of understand, because honestly, I feel like if I make $1 million and you force me to go live, right? Really, no matter what your parameters are, it can't be better than me just taking my money and going live somewhere else, like live in a personal account, and not have to give up any percentage of my money. You get what I'm saying? Like, I could just have a personal account, which I feel like everyone's goal should be to take money from your payouts, put a certain percentage off to the side in an account that you don't touch. And when you build that account up to a certain point, get a personal account. Because by the time you get to that point, you should pretty much know your edge. You should hopefully have your psychology together where you're not going on tilt and stuff like that, to where you can easily blow a personal account. But you also have to make sure that you have a strategy that doesn't only work well with props, like being able to leverage props, right? And I say that because, like, there are some people here on YouTube who will let you know, like, if it wasn't for props, if I was doing this and it wasn't like, if I was in a personal account, I wouldn't be profitable. But they're just able to leverage prop firm accounts, right? And I mean, that's a very honest thing to say, and it's true for some people. But if you have a strategy where it can work, even if you didn't leverage prop accounts, why the hell would you use a live account from a prop firm? That just doesn't make sense to me at all. Keep your extra money, no commissions paid to nobody, no percentage paid to nobody, and go on about your life. Yes, take your talents elsewhere, to yourself and nowhere else. And you can't even say go to another prop, because honestly, most other props can't afford to allow you to have 20 accounts. Most of them will max you at 3 to 5. And some of these props put you live when you $5,000 in profit, $10,000 in profit. That's insane. I think Apex, you have to get over 1 million, if I'm not mistaken, because it seems like if you watch Nutty Bar Trading's videos on, like he does the payout videos every month, if you notice, once somebody gets to $1 million all time, because towards the end of the video, he always does an all time list. If you notice, they're always stuck at that number. So that lets me know they're not trading anymore, at least with Apex, and they're sitting out, right? So they've gone elsewhere. Unless when someone's live, they no longer put their payouts, public or something. I don't know. But it seems like most people who get the $1 million, they out of there. And I would too. What trader was that? His name in the channel is Nacho. And I'm pretty sure his profile picture is a dancing Nacho or something. But yeah, super cool guy. Super, super cool. This trade right here, this sale was literally the exact setup I look for every day, but because it happened at that major resistance level, I just didn't take it. I just don't feel comfortable doing it, because historically it doesn't work that well. any trades there just don't work that well. And then I don't take any trades going back towards it either. So we'll just wait for this first pullback. I cannot believe I sat there and just forgot news. Like, it's not literally on my freaking chart. That's why it's on my chart. Gosh. Like, down extra for literally no reason. I would still be at that same little break-even level. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. So on the account that I'm gonna blow on Friday anyway, there's like $350 left in there. So yeah, it might end up blowing before then. Hopefully not. Today could have been a day to turn it around, but you know, shit happens. Shit happens. What I probably actually need to do is change the settings on the news indicator so that it alerts me like 2 minutes before, because right now I think it only does 15 and 7. So, and I have it set that way for a reason, but I think I'm gonna have to change that. We'll see though. 419, 545. Oh, that's literally equal. That's weird. The volume of this swing is 894, and so is the previous swing. That's such a weird number. Okay, wait. Well, we just changed that all up. Less than. I think we're gonna stall here too long, and we did. We're trying to reject there, but in the process of doing that, we sat there way too long. We changed to a downtrend bias at this level right here. I'll just draw the zone, it's easier to see. It's basically here, and we immediately pushed up from here, so until we push back below here, we could go back into an uptrend biased. We'll see, I guess. Your break even now? Good. Hopefully I can get back to break even too. Taking a trade a minute before news. Like, I don't close on my trade. This is her zip files, but I'm sure can share it too if you don't trust her zip. But Lord, these people are crazy. All right. I just took that off the chart just because I need to be able to see inside of that zone. Got the push I was looking for, but we pushed too far up beforehand, so. And why do it's really weird. But yeah, you don't know if you want to look for a short or a buy, so you just sit in. Yeah, it's kind of at a weird level right now. What was I gonna? Oh, I stand corrected. 985,000. I don't even know if I could put that on the screen. Don't worry. I'll go look for it. But that's super motivating. And he's just like such a low-key person. You would just never think it. But then when he posted it, I'm like, this all makes sense. It all makes sense. Oh no. It all makes sense. I have no idea what they've been talking about in here. I'll catch up later. Where is it? Oh, here we go. I don't know what room he posted this in. Because like I said, I only sit in the main channel. But you guys can see $985,000. Insane. Without live traders, it makes it Ponzi vibes. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you there. I'm not going to. Because it does. It does. And that's probably what keeps them in compliance, is the live traders who do decide to stay, and also the copy trading as well. I just hope that, which I do believe he probably did, that Daryl did his due diligence when it comes to compliance and stuff like that, which, I mean, compliance kind of changes over time too, because retail props are still kind of a newer thing. I mean, it's been going on for some years now, but especially with how popular they've become in the futures space, like Forex, I never thought that Forex props were going to last in the US anyway, because there's just so much scamming in Forex, period. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Let's see, 613. All right, well, you just invalidated yourself there, bud. Works for me. Can you negotiate the I don't know. I don't know anything about how they do anything with the live traders. And I will tell you, I know for sure that they're not allowed to discuss any of the particulars. Even if they decide to decline it, they can't discuss the particulars. And it's probably because maybe there's some kind of negotiations in there. But the biggest thing for me is, I'm pretty sure I don't remember, was this, where did I read this? I feel like I read somewhere that if you decide to go live, you do have to declare yourself as a professional and pay the professional data fees, which, who wants to do that? No, I don't know, because I feel like also maybe that I read like on other prop firm websites when I was just researching that like if you declared yourself as a professional in any capacity, whether it's in a personal account or with another prop, that you have to carry that everywhere. So it's like, I don't care if you negotiate the 10% to be 2%. If I have to pay a professional data fee every month, I'm already out. Especially if that professional status is going to carry me everywhere. So now I have to pay professional data fees in other areas as well. You know, especially if I'm using a platform where I can't just connect I'd rather not. And I'll be honest with you. By the time I get to the point of them saying I'm forced to go live because I've withdrawn so much money, I would have already been trading a personal account anyway. Like, I think I'm going to go back to a personal account when I put $10,000 of payouts off to the side to fund the account with. And for me, like, I'm confident in doing that because I know that by the time I even get to my next PA being, or eval being passed, I feel like by then my strategy is going to be set anyway. So I'll feel pretty confident. And I was talking to my best friend about that because he asked me, like, you know, with you getting your strategy almost to where you want it to be, how are you going to do these PAs? How are you going to purchase more evals? Like, I always said that I'm going to start off with the 5. Once I get my first payout, then I'll purchase the next set of 5 evals, you know, that kind of thing. Just to replace in like little bulks, I guess you could say. Because for me, I know there's always going to be some kind of sale. I don't even mind purchasing at a 71% off, but I know 80% is around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like in a rush. I mean, with 5 accounts, with the mixture that I have, you can max at like 17 grand a month. That's more than enough for me, you guys. I don't need 20. And honestly, I always said that I would never get 20 if I'm being completely honest. I always said that. Now I got a little change of heart, but before I definitely always said that. But who knows? Who knows? We're just at a very weird level right now. We're trying to stay below the level that changed it to a downtrend, but you can see every time we've come here, we've rejected in some capacity, but we are creating lower lows, so it's kind of working. We created a double top here, so let's see if we can at least take this low out and actually start trading below the rotation level too. So we got the level that changed it to a downtrend, and then we also have the rotation, and we have the VWAP here. So that's kind of why it's like a little back and forth at the moment. But it's trying. It's trying. You know what? That makes sense. I've been trying to figure out how I want to trade. Well, I kind of have it figured out a little bit. How I want to trade divergence when like this swing is more than this swing. The volume divergence for that is a little bit different. And I've been kind of trying to figure it out. But I think now that I made some changes yesterday, I think I know how I want to do that. We'll see. Oh, we also have the overnight low right here that we need to break through. That all makes sense. It all makes sense. When you start looking at things a little bit differently, things just start to make sense. You want to get to that level before the government get involved with new regulations? Exactly. Like for me, I just want to get the bag before the government gets involved and say that we can't get the bag with the props anymore. That's all I care about. If I can at least get to the point where I've replaced my savings that I've been living off of for the last year and a half, 2 years, then I'm good. I'm good. I can grow from there. And that doesn't take very many payouts at all with the current number of accounts that I have. So I know, you add to it, you'll get to it even quicker. All right, we couldn't push out of the overnight range, at least with that particular attempt. We might be rejecting to go up. Let's see if we create a lower high or we push through this double top. Squeeze the charts a little bit so you can see structure a little bit differently. You can see this is where we changed to the downtrend. We broke that level right there. Hello, Connor. How are you this morning? Do I ever trade the Asian session? Futures are already regulated, so I don't think the government would make any changes. Well, it's not just the futures part. It's the fact that we're trading sim accounts and they're paying out on sim accounts from other people's subscription fees and PA fees and stuff. So it's kind of Ponzi-ish a little bit when you consider that part. But because they have the live traders, because they have the people that they copy, the overall business model is not a Ponzi. And then people also have to remember that the reason why the Forex props has gone to shits is for a totally different reason. Most of these props are having issues because they were so you have these brokers, right, who had gray label licenses from MetaQuotes and from MetaQuotes. So they were illegally using their gray label licenses in a way that goes against the terms and conditions of the gray label licenses, and they were basically, I wouldn't say renting out those licenses, but they were allowing these props to use their gray label licenses, and that's against the MetaQuotes terms and conditions. So the problem is because MetaQuotes, if you go onto MetaTrader and you create a demo account, you're not going to get charged commissions, right? So basically, MetaQuotes has allowed you to gray label their license, and you're doing all of this, but MetaQuotes is not making any money off of it, right? Because you've gray labeled over here and you have basically rented out that little gray label license for sim accounts where you guys are charging commissions, or charging for the accounts and stuff. So you've basically taken out the owner of the license because you're just a gray label, you just have a gray label basically. So that is actually what the problem has been. And that's why, they got rid of so many US props, because basically the people that they were gray labeling to, they were providing services to companies, prop firms, or brokers that MetaQuotes would have otherwise denied access to the licenses. So I don't know if it's just a matter of they would have denied it for US customers or US props. I don't know. I have no idea. But I know that that's what the actual issue has been. And no, I don't trade the Asian session. I trade 30 minutes before you see me in the morning. And when I get off the stream at 11, I don't take not a nan of the trade. I spend like an hour and a half journaling, and after that, I am done. I do not listen. Not to say I trade for the thrill, because I don't, but what I'm not going to do is watch paint dry intentionally. Who wants to do that? Watching paint dry in the most volatile 2.5 hours of the market being open, I'm okay with. But watching paint dry when I know the paint is going to dry, no. I'm doing great, Connor. I actually got some good sleep. Have a couple of errands to run a little bit later, but I'm doing well though. You're done already? What time do you stop trading? Are you somebody who trades pre-market, or do you only trade like the first hour of the market being open? What you do? Because you done kind of fast. And I like that. As much as I want to stop after the first hour, no matter how much money I can make in the first hour or 30 minutes, I'm going to always trade till 11 though. Always. I'm not going to lie. Well, let me not say always. At one point, I might stop at 10. Because that 10 to 11 is annoying. Especially when the volatility is low. Now, when the volatility is decent, I'll trade 10 to 11 all day. But maybe after FOMC comes out this afternoon, maybe tomorrow and Friday we'll have better movement for the rest of the week. Thank you, KK. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm UK. You trade the open. You took 1 L and 2 Ws. You're up 0.6% over your 2 PAs. You trade for an hour unless you're done before. Okay. I love it. So what time is it where you are right now? Trading the first hour is great. See, I'm like you, where I'm doing this to buy my time back. And I just talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to ever be on the stream past about 11:15, 11:30 if we just having conversations and I'm answering questions, or, we're just having a good discussion, but I'm not trading no more. I can't buy my time back if I'm literally just on the charts from market open to market close. And I also, over the years, I have at one point been that person that I traded 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., stopped, got back on the charts for the London session, trade an hour and a half of that. So I'm waking up in the middle of the night to trade. Then I'm trying to go back to sleep to wake back up for New York. Baby, I'm too old for that. When I was in my mid 20s, maybe late 20s, yeah, sure. Wake up in the middle of the night to do random stuff. But at this age, we're not doing that. We're just not. I just can't. So now I just do the 2.5 hours. And I just feel like after 11, who wants to look at the market anymore? I mean, aside from maybe if you're trading a little later in the session, what do they call that? Nutty Bar and Alpine. I forget what they call it. It's the murder bot is what they call it. I forget exactly what time it is, but they always say that every day around that time in the afternoon, the market just goes haywire. Usually I'm just watching them stream around that time because I don't have my charts open anymore at that point. It's currently till we change our daylight savings time hours. It's normally, so you guys change your daylight savings time at a different time. That's crazy. Down 300, might just take your red day as FOMC. Hey, if you feel like you're over trading or it's just not gonna work out today because of FOMC, take the L and go on. Cause I mean, it's typical that the volatility is not that great, since it's all the volatility is gonna happen after 1 o'clock. So you might have to take your L and just be okay with it. Is it on your PAs or on your evals? NY close is normally a decent session. I trade this if I'm busy during the day. It's 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time. Got you. Yeah, the close, I used to get off by 2 o'clock Central Standard Time when I traded the afternoon session, because I used to really like trading crude oil from 12. Well, really 1 to 2 was kind of the best, but I would start trading the Nasdaq again around 12 o'clock. But which I'm basically an hour before New York. So it would be 1 o'clock New York time. What is that? Oh, they're about to deliver my water. But yeah, now, I just know that trading the first 2.5 hours is something that I can sustain long term, even though I'm not a morning person by any means. Like, me waking up this early, I'm usually super tired by the afternoon because I'm just not a morning person. But I know that no matter what and no matter how tired I am, I can push through 2.5 hours. But after that, she needs a nap. She needs a nap. Oh, all of your accounts? I got you. You copy trading today. All right, let's see what we do here. So we're back. This red line right here, that's the level that changed it to a downtrend, one of the two. So we've attempted to push down, but then we couldn't push out of the overnight range, which is from this red line to the green line here. So after we push back into it, we've just basically been consolidating, attempting to actually create the true downtrend, but we kind of failed to do so. So if we start trading above this red line, especially if we break up here, then we might be pushing out of the overnight range to change to a true uptrend. So we'll see. We will see. The most important thing for me is that I'm practicing patience. Because let's see, besides the 2 trades that I missed or sat out of earlier because of them rotating over the current open and prior close, so that's 2 trades. Then I took 3 trades, but one of them was invalid. It was 9:29 and freaking news was at 9:30. I just wasn't paying attention. So basically 4 trades today. What? Like 15 is the minimum typically. Now, I can tell you guys, after I went through yesterday's trades, let me get my journal. After I kind of solidified some rules based on the losses yesterday and the pattern of them creating losses and me not paying. They either created losses or break evens and me not paying attention to that. Yesterday basically was only 5 trades. Well, 6, sorry. 6 trades. That's not a lot at all. No losses though, but it should have just been 6 trades. So I definitely feel like every time I've had to make like some minor adjustments to the strategy, it has been making it to where the trades are way more consistent with the wins and losses, way more wins than losses, which it was like that even when I started the back test, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. But now it should just become even better. And for me, like, I don't scout because I want to take 20 trades in a session. I scout because I don't want to sit through choppiness. Like, if it's a 100-point move, I'd rather just scalp 4.5 points like 5 times. I don't care to get the whole 100 points. That's just me personally. But it's like, if I only get 5 trades in a session or 4 trades in a session, something like that, but I didn't lose at all, or maybe I only lost once, I'll take that. I definitely will take that. All right, so we are trying to clear. I'm going to draw the zone that I want to see it completely clear because it moved a little bit. And you can see it moved because this half trend moved, whatever. And we'll just have to see if we can actually clear the overnight high, because remember, we tried to clear the overnight low and we couldn't. We bounced off of it down here. So let's see what it does. I don't take this particular divergence because you can see there's a lower low in between the higher highs. I want to see a higher low in between it. So anytime there's divergence like that, I don't take that. It's proven to not be very consistent, at least in this moment. It's all about sustainability. It's good to get the trading out of the way and have the freedom for the rest of your day. You got to know I'm the same. Scalping isn't about trading every move, being in the move. Yes, exactly. And I understand that some people just truly enjoy, I don't know how, because I get frustrated sometimes, but some people truly enjoy trading and just want to trade most of the day. Now, some people, I don't know if they just like it because they're doing it on YouTube. And I don't know if they would still prefer to trade all day, even if they weren't entertaining on YouTube. I don't know. But I know for me, I just can't. I just can't. And like back when I used to intraday swing, like there were so many times. So I used to use this indicator called, oh my gosh. It's called squat zones, SQUANT zones, and it's from Posty Pivots. And I just found it on a whim like some years ago. And it does a really good job of showing you like a major resistance zone, and then a major support zone. And then it shows you like it's based off of regular pivot levels. I think like the Fibonacci pivots. And based off of a Fibonacci pivots, it draws those zones and it draws these levels where it's like it says last stand, which basically once price breaks that particular last stand area, it's just typically going to take off. And then it has multiple take profits from there. I did find out very quickly it does not work very well for Rinkos, because I don't know if it's just the way that it's calculated. I don't know. And then it makes the charts move very, very slow. But I used to use it when I was intraday swinging on a 2-minute chart. And I was doing so well with it. I had other parameters. I wasn't just using it just like, hey, it broke this level, let's take a trade. It wasn't like that. But I did notice very quickly that there were times where like I'm trying to hold to even the first take profit level, and it gets, let's say 5, maybe let's just say 10 ticks away from my take profit, and then just reverses. Like, hello, where are you going? You're going the wrong way. So that happened to me a couple of times, and I was just like, all right, yeah, I've been holding this damn trade for 3 hours, and you come close to my take profit, and this is when you want to reverse. So at that point, I was like, yeah. And then, once you start really paying attention to how the trail and drawdown works, and I've always wanted to be a scalper on top of that, I was like, yeah, this is my sign to say screw intraday trading or intraday swinging, and we're just going to scalp. So that's been what I've been trying to put together all this time. I would say that I started trying to put together a strategy for this like last summer, right? But because I was working and had my business at the same time, it was literally impossible for me to even have enough time to devote to developing it, because I just didn't have time like that to back test and do all the other things that I needed to do. So like that was the biggest issue for me. But also now looking back, it was really my Rinko size that was the problem, and why, even though I didn't have a lot of time, I just couldn't get anything consistent. I don't know how people use the Rinko settings where their threshold is 4 and 2 and all these other things. Like, I just feel like the smoothest and the most consistent patterns happen with your threshold being 1. But back then, I used to trade on a 20 and 2 chart. And I'm going to tell you guys what's crazy is the NASDAQ is what I use the threshold of 2. So every bar in the swing, it had to go 2 ticks to close it versus 1. But all the other instruments I was trading, I used a threshold of 1. And guess where I saw the most progress? On the other instruments. So I don't know why I never did it for the NASDAQ. I think because my thought process was like, the NASDAQ is so volatile, it moves so much. I don't think that that's the smartest thing to do, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, once I switched that, I think it was January 25th of this year is when I changed to a 1 tick threshold for the NASDAQ. And then I've seen consistent progress since then. Still changed my Renko bar size a couple times, but this is like the most consistent I've been able to get a strategy to be. But we just had to work some more kinks out. And hopefully after last Wednesday and then yesterday's session, I hope all those kinks are worked out now, okay? I need all the kinks to be gone. Because I'm literally right there, you guys. I'm right there. Oh my God, you use 8-4? Sorry, Connor. How do you do it? Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you guys. So the guy who's in jail for scamming me and other people, he's the one who introduced me to trading 10 years ago. And so, he also introduced us to Rinkos. So when people, it's amazing to me that a lot of people don't know what Rinkos are, and they come into the stream and they're like, what the hell kind of chart is that? What is this? Why don't you trade on normal candles like other people? But that's because I knew 10 years ago this is what I was going to end up doing. I even had a plug-in for me to be able to trade Rinkos when I was trading Forex. Okay. Yeah, I've been on Rinkos for a long time. But anyway, so one of his strategies that I don't really even think was a strategy for real, I think he just made some shit up, because when I was trading it and I would lose, I'm like, hey, how come this trade lost? And he had no idea. Like, whatever. But anyway, he used to have us using, what is it? I think it's kind of like the 8 and 4, where the brick size has to be double what the threshold is. And basically he had it where, like, when you had a reversal bar like this, you would draw this little line here and you would go down, because you had to use 2 charts. You would have a bigger Renko chart and a smaller one. So once you drew the line at the close of the bar, you would drop down to a smaller chart, because most of the time, price is going to come down and consolidate a little bit inside of the next bar, and then you look for a certain structure to get in, to the trend. It was a great concept at the time, but I think because he actually didn't know how to trade, he was just making shit up. But it was a great concept. Now, I couldn't do it with what I'm doing now, at least, just because, well, not on this Renko size, because most of my trades, I barely even get drawdown. So that's why I have to be so precise with the entry and not try to enter after like the bar close, because, well, not try to manually enter after the bar close if I miss the actual entry with the the chart trader indicator. So, because I just don't get a lot of drawdown after the entries. But yeah, the 8 and 4, you know what? I looked at a 12 and 4 before, but I don't know if I looked. Let's go to the 8 and 4. Actually, wait a second. Oh, I can't take that trade. These swings are equal. All right. Let's see. 8 and 4. And you do an 8 and 4 on the NASDAQ? Oh yeah, Connor, you're an insane person. What is this? But yeah, I know for sure we definitely use a chart that looked like this, where the threshold was half of the brick size, because this is what he used to do. Like, all right, when this bar closes, you drop down and then you look for this structure in here and then you take off. Connor, this is ugly. But if it works for you, that is ugly. Yucky, yucky. I wonder, does that other... Oh no, I don't have that thing on here. Okay. Yeah, see, that ain't smooth enough for me. All the outside bars here. How big of a stop loss do you use, or does it vary? Because see, that's the other reason why I use the threshold of 1, because I like to have my stop loss 1 tick beyond the close of my entry bar. And most of the time, if I get stopped out, it's either from an outside bar or I just was going to lose the trade. But the outside bars get me. They do, they do. All right, we're trying to push through this zone right here. We're having trouble. 501. Now this is you use a fixed dollar amount and you aim for a 1 to 5. You use a position size tool, so it varies. Which one do you use? The one from what is it, Ascendo, or a different one? I wish that they had, for NinjaTrader, not a position size tool where you have to draw like the risk to reward, that one. I wish that they had the position size calculator. There's a position size calculator for Forex that I used to use that was like an indicator. Let me see if I could find it, because I want to show you guys. Maybe I could find somebody to code it for me. Because when I tell you I loved this thing, oh my God, I loved it. Let me see if I could show that. No, I don't want you to show it like that. Show the whole thing, people. Oh, it looks like they might have updated it. Huh. Alright, let me see if I can find... I don't want that one. Okay, maybe it was that one. Alright, hold on, guys. Hold on, hold on. I don't really like that either. Alright, let me show y'all what it looks like. Don't mind all the red numbers that's on the freaking screen, because I don't even know why they did that to begin with. Well, I do know why. But don't pay attention to that pot. So this is from Earn Forex, and I used to use this. And I used to really like it because you could literally just put, either you could type this in, or I think you could draw the levels. No, I think you had to type it in. But when you put in your entry, stop loss, and take profit and everything, and if you use multiple take profits, you could do that part too. I never used the one that had the ATR period, like none of this. All it had was this part, and you put whatever your account balance is at the time, how much you want to risk, whether it's percentage or dollar amount, whatever, and it told you exactly what your position size needed to be. I want them to do something like this for futures. Not that I need it, because I already know how to do it manually. But it was pretty cool because that part would just literally sit like embedded in your charts, you know, on the bottom left or bottom right. Always shows the bottom left, and you could just quickly enter the numbers real quick, boom, and it spits out right away what your position size needs to be. People need that. I mean, these people don't understand how to calculate a 30% rule. So understanding contract sizes and stuff like that, like I had to explain that to someone the other day because they were coming from Forex and not really understanding, like, how come I can put in a 0.2 lot, but I can't put in 0.2 contracts? I'm like, because there are no partial contracts. Go to micros. So I was like teaching him how to like calculate it based on micros and stuff. But especially if somebody uses different instruments, just understanding like the ticks and the points and how many ticks per point and what's the dollar per tick. Like, that can be a lot when some people are trading multiple instruments. For me, I just trade the Nasdaq, so it's easy for me to calculate. And then I also I've always just traded one mini contract all this time. But I already have it mapped out where once I'm in a PA and everything, every so often, I have to have a certain profit level to increase to the next contract size. And that's also kind of why I don't think I'll ever really have more than just the 50K accounts, because 10 contracts is a lot, guys. That is a lot. And when you really think about it, 10 contracts on really what's a $2,500 account is insane. So because I don't ever really feel like I'll need more than 10 contracts, I just probably stick to 25 and 50Ks for real. Ascendo, I have that same one. I bought it, but I don't ever use it. I used it when I first got it, but I was more so looking for what I showed you on the screen instead of that. But I mean, it still works out really good. And then also, because I'm not intraday swinging anymore, and it's always 18 ticks, take profit and stop loss, I just already know I'm risking 93.98 to make 86.02. So the transition can be difficult, but definitely worth it. Absolutely. You're going to stick to 50Ks, 20 incoming. I don't even think about the 30% rule. I'm sure I've been over it on payouts. And that's what we try to tell people. Just don't worry about it, because most of the time, as long as you follow your strategy, they don't really care. They've approved people over 40%. I forgot what they said the highest is that they've approved someone. But if you're following your strategy, they don't really care. The only problem with going over the 30% rule is that you're going to trigger the system to give you a manual review. And at that point, the only reason I tell people it's best for you to stay under 30% is because if you don't and you get a manual review, you have the opportunity or you're at risk for a support person to decline it, and you can go in there and you can appeal and everything, but you're still leaving it in the hands of another human being and their thought process and how they analyze what you did. So for me to avoid all of that, because don't play with my money, especially if you're doing stuff right? If you're not doing stuff right, then it is what it is. But to put your money in the hands of another person's decision, it's just don't do it if you can help it, All right, we have let's see if we could break this now. We've broken through the overnight range, but we're still at the top of the support and resistance zone. So the first resistance level or support level is down there. The first resistance level is up here. So we need to break that zone. That creates an inside zone, I guess you could say. But yeah. So let me tell you guys, the other day, and I'm going to speak about this because the person publicly spoke about it already. So it's not like it was just a chat between moderators or anything. So someone got their payout denied because they broke the 30% rule, significantly, but it was because of the day of the rhythmic outage. So when they make things right, when there's a widespread rhythmic outage, it still counts it as a trading day, but I think it grouped all of his income for 2 days into 1 day or something very weird, something like that. So he was declined because of that, right? Now he claimed publicly that he put in a support ticket and it took them 15 days to reply. That was untrue, and I don't know why he made that up. Okay, that was very untrue. It did not take them 15 days. But either way, he pled his case, said that, hey, I didn't really make $2,500 in 1 day. This was due to the rhythmic outage, blah, blah, blah. Because I actually remember when it happened that we said something to the head of support, and she had to go through to, the support team and say, hey, be aware that this was a outage day. So if someone, breaks the rule because these 2 days, equate to more than 30%, you can't take that into account. So we had already said this. Now, I don't know who's the person that declined them because of that. I don't know. But either way, so he appealed it. Like I said, he said that it took them 15 days to reply to his ticket, which was not true. Well, when they did come back and tell him, like, you are correct, that's our mistake, you can get the payout. Well, unfortunately, in the process of him waiting, he was not patient. He traded the accounts and he failed them. Okay. So for whatever reason, the streamer whose chat he was in told him to reach out to mods or reach out to a certain person in support, like via Discord and all this other stuff, whatever. So this person was like messaging different mods and all this other stuff. And, basically trying to blame Apex, like, oh, so they shouldn't make it right because they took 15 days and blah, blah, blah. Listen, at the end of the day, they always tell you that you have the chance to appeal. If you trade your accounts and you fail, even if they come back and say, you're right, that's our fault, you were not denied, had you been patient and not traded your accounts, you would have gotten the payout. He believes that he should have still gotten the payout from the account, even though the account is failed, because Apex admitted that he did not break the 30% rule, which they were unaware of how, things work with the rhythmic outages, whatever. But to cause a stir because you failed your accounts in a time where you were not patient enough to allow you appealed it. Why wouldn't you wait for the appeal? Huh? So that caused like a big stir the other day. And I was just like so confused as to why do you think they should still pay you out? I'm still confused on it. You failed the account. That doesn't even make sense. You got to shoot. Bye, Connor. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in. Great chat. But yeah, I was so confused on that one. I don't know. People can be much sometimes. And I get it. Like some stuff is Apex's fault. Some stuff is not Apex's fault and it's Rhythmic's fault. Some stuff is Tradeovate's fault. But when you blow an account on your own accord, you could have just let the freaking account sit and got your payout. And even if they did still deny you for whatever other reason, you could have still just grown the account. You blew it. And he probably blew it in frustration. More than likely. Excuse me. But that was a bit much that day. I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. Who is this? Oh, that's another. Why do I have notifications from it? I don't understand. Don't understand. Oh, Lord. Somebody bought Rhythmic accounts and was complaining because it wasn't showing up in Tradeovate. Dude. Some of the things you see, I cannot believe that the market has been giving me nothing. When did I take my last trade? Let me see something. My last trade was at 9:20. Oh, yeah, that trade I wasn't supposed to be in because it was a minute before news. My last trade was at 9:29. So before that, my last valid trade was at 8:57 this morning. Hello? You mean to tell me you've given me nothing in a whole hour and a half? What is this? What is scalping if you take an hour and a half to take your next trade? All right, let's see if we could push through this and get one last trade in this last 30 minutes. Because that's really the other problem. We've just been resisting so heavy at some of these support and resistance levels. Rejecting them, then just taking off in the other direction. in ways that I can't trade. So that doesn't help. That doesn't help. Deets. We're rejecting off of the resistance level. That's also the prior high. We have new. Oh, yeah. True Seeker. I know. We got FOMC. I know. Trust me. I'm just being a hoot because I want to take trades and I can't. I'm practicing patience and not forcing things that are not there. No, I'm not practicing patience. I'm always patient with my stuff. But no, I know why. It's just annoying. That's all. Yeah, usually FOMC week, I'll have quite a few setups on Monday, like 10 to 12, which is not a lot for me, but 10 to 12. And then usually the Tuesday, there's about half of that. Wednesday morning will be half of that. And then Thursday and Friday, I'll be good from there. It's just annoying to sit through. That's all. That's all. What is it down there? I think it's 1.9. See if the VWAP holds in the overnight high. There's just nothing there. Yes, no, maybe so. Gonna break even because we just hit the current open. If it pushes through and wins after breaking even, I'm okay with that. Because I don't know. I didn't used to have to break even there, but I don't know now because I haven't taken very many trades where I'm about to come up on a current open, prior close type deal. So we'll see what happens. But I used to have to do that because that is a support level for me. Now, if it goes and shows that I would have lost, I'll be happier. So let's see if I need to keep that as a thing. I do. So I would have lost if I stayed in. You can see we literally came down, and that's why So the current open and prior open, that's why they're green. They're support levels for me. That's just what I notice happens typically there. And then that red line is the prior close. Long, short, or sit on your hands. That's it. That's your only 3 options. That is it. Let's see, 73. So we did touch the prior close too. My major level's right above the prior close, so, and the overall bias is an uptrend. So sometimes we come back, we pull all the way back to the major level, and we start creating structure to continue in the overall direction. And sometimes we fail to continue, and we just start to create structure below it. So pretty much since this is where it changed to an overall uptrend for me, but you can see we immediately resisted from the zone. So now we've pulled back to the middle level from here to where it changed. Now we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. See if we create structure below here. How are you doing with your trading this morning, True Seeker? What's the volume looking like? 232. Oh yeah, I do want to see what this. I haven't really gotten lag on my entries and stuff today. However, the volatility was low, so, but I do want to see if that other volume indicator that I bought will fix the problem that I'm having, because another mod seems to think that it's the volume up down indicator, the native one in NinjaTrader. And my chart's gonna freeze for a second. Okay. Can I not use it? Is it corrupted? Okay, well, it's not supposed to take that long. All right. Don't think I can use that one. It's literally still loading. Just exit on out of there. Maybe I'll try it again after I get off the stream, because that was like 30 seconds and it still hadn't loaded. So that's not good. And right now my charts are trying to catch up from the lag. All right, so now we're back to normal. Good, can't complain. You focus on Nasdaq, ES, and CL. That's a good combination, minus the middle one. How do you trade the ES? You know what? I think anybody like you who trades multiple instruments and one of them is the Nasdaq, I think you're a psycho. Because how do you trade something with such great volatility? Well, minus today. How do you trade something with such great volatility and then you have the nerve to also look at charts that barely move? How do you do it? Like, I would get so frustrated. Like, why aren't you moving like this one? Crude oil is great though. Crude oil is great for, like, it really holds trends pretty well. Pretty well. I actually wouldn't mind going back to crude at some point once I've mastered what I'm doing and my strategy is finalized. I would love to see if it works on crude. Crude and probably the Russell are the only two that I wouldn't mind also trading. But then also sometimes I just feel like if I could just trade one instrument and make all the money that I want to make, I don't want to look at nothing else. Call me lazy, I guess. I don't know, but that's just my thought process sometimes. I used to like gold, but I don't know. I had this one strategy on gold on a 10 tick Renko chart, 10 and 1 chart. And I used to trade it almost every day and it was pretty consistent. I just stopped trading it because I just was tired of trading multiple instruments. But basically, usually there's a certain reversal pattern that happens at 9 a.m. every morning without fail, whether it's news or not. And I would just trade that. And it worked a lot. I think I used to trade it on the 10. It was either the 10 and 1 or the 20 and 2. I can't remember, but either one. That's what I used to do on gold. Just trade that 9 a.m. reversal every morning. It had to be a certain pattern though, but yeah. Let's see if we rotate below here. Because right here, we just created a little bit of divergence at the major pullback level. But we might rotate on it and just say, to hell with this uptrend we've tried. We just kept rejecting here. And we've created lower highs since with the double top lower high. And you can see we need to rotate above this level for it to even attempt to for real push higher. So let's see what happens. I don't think I'll get another trade in the next 17 minutes. So overall, I'm satisfied with today, honestly. I am satisfied. I think I can solidify that I could take, trades if my entry bar is touching both the current open and the prior close. I'm pretty sure I could take those trades again. After seeing it happen twice today and I sat out of it, 2 wins. And it doesn't happen often. That's why sometimes, like, if certain stuff doesn't happen often and I don't feel like going to backtest it, I'm just okay with sitting out because it doesn't happen often. Like the last time I had any trade set up and my entry bar was like that, it was, I think 2 weeks ago. I don't think it was last week. I feel like it was 2 weeks ago. So if I have to sit out of 1 or 2 trades every 2 weeks, whatever. But it's when certain stuff happen a lot where I'm like, okay, I've sat out of it enough. Let's go back test this particular setup. So yeah. But we just didn't get much, which is to be expected. But it's always frustrating, like the day after you have like some big revelations, like I had after yesterday's bloodbath, yesterday and Wednesday of last week. It's like that next day, you're just hoping that the market like gives you something, right? Because you just want to trade it so bad to see if the adjustments that you made make sense. And then you have stuff like today where it's like, yeah, no, you don't get to test anything. And of course, this thing messes up. Why do you do such a thing? Oh, it's not messed up over there though. I guess I could look over there. My zigzag is messed up on my actual chart that I used to trade, but it's not messed up over here for you guys, so I'll just have to look over here. Down 1K, max loss, trenches. Trenches. Well, you hit your max loss, so just stop. Don't go on tilt. Leave it there. Leave it there. You'll make it back tomorrow and Friday. We should have some good movement tomorrow and Friday, hopefully. Yes, because it has clean levels. NQ is great for scaling. Crude oil is great for morning trend plays. I could feel that. So do you trade so when you're trading the ES and the NASDAQ, right? Do you base your bias on one versus like because of what's happening on the other? Like I know some people will look at ES, right? And if ES is like resisting heavy at a level, they start looking for sales on the NASDAQ, or do you treat them both separately and analyze them both separately? No trading for you Friday. That's why you was trading today? No. Okay. Well, tomorrow you're going to make at least some of it back. Let's hope all of it. Let's hope we have enough movement for you to make all of it back tomorrow. You have to work on Friday? And I don't even know why I'm drinking out of this bottle to begin with. Separate but based on DXY. I know people who do that too, especially like there's a couple of YouTubers that I'll consume their content here and there, but they trade one of them trades ICT and the others trade other stuff, but they definitely look at DXY to determine kind of their overall bias. And then you have some people like Trenches who they look at certain stocks sometimes, like Nvidia and stuff. Me, what you see is all I look at. That is it. Okay, that's gonna really oh, I cannot do that actually. Shit. I was trying to only look over there at the charts, but I can't do that. So my chart's gonna freeze because I'm reloading the Ninja script so that my zigzag can come back. $364. Well, I was going to get into the trade until we pushed off of the VWAP. So that X's that one out. You trade ICT and you scalp with price action. You learn from Al Brooks. So do you... So without... Isn't Al Brooks the guy who does the two-legged pullback thingy? Because I know when I was learning the two-legged pullback, there was Al Brooks, and then I think he was the originator. And then I forget the name of the other, Mac or something. is like the person that most people follow instead of Al Brooks. And I think that they number the bars or the swings a little bit different or something. I feel like that's what I remember. See? I be knowing. I've been around a little bit. No, my best friend who trades, he used to love the two-legged pullback, and then because he wasn't getting enough setups during the time that he could trade, he just eventually got away from it. I'm actually still in one of the Mac Facebook groups. I just check in there from time to time. I don't trade the two-legged pullbacks, obviously, but I just check in there from time to time. Yeah, I've been around the block. I've tried a lot of different stuff, okay? A lot of different stuff. But yeah, that two-legged pullback. So I even Trade Devils has a price action indicator that I purchased because my friend had me convinced, baby, that the two-legged pullback was the way for me. It was not. Okay. But anyway, I ended up buying the Trade Devils price action indicator. It's called PATS, I think. And it basically just helps you to enter, and it puts your stop loss above the high of the previous bar or the low of the previous bar. And, it trails it as you're going, and you're able to tell it how many contracts you want in initially, how you want it to split between the scalper and the runner, and all of that stuff. I was trying hard to figure out how I wanted to make that work for me. But I think the biggest thing for me and why it was never going to work is just because the negative risk to reward ratio that you kind of have to start out with was just, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, okay? Even with letting a runner run, like, I don't know if the runner's going to run. What if I just get stopped out right at my break even or something? But I've risked this much, and you take a loss, and now you got to get a couple of wins to get it back. That's the main reason why it didn't work for me. And then also just because, not that I have a hard time analyzing tick-based charts or time-based charts or anything like that, but like I said earlier, I was first introduced to Rinkos 10 years ago. So once you see price action on Rinkos, it's very hard to have a desire to trade any other bar type. And it would just be like for instance, in that group every day, if you go in there, there's people posting charts like, hey, I took a sale right here. How come, this one lost? And I think that sometimes as traders, we have to get out of the idea like why did this lose? Sometimes you have a great strategy and it just didn't work out that time. But for me, the reason why I'm analyzing every loss is because I know the strategy is not set in stone yet. And I know that most of the losses, because of me trading with Rinkos and trading more volume based, and knowing that volume patterns is typically consistent no matter what the market conditions are at the time. That's why I'm trying to mitigate losses, because I know it can happen. But they'll come in and they'll post a picture and ask people why it lost. And people will typically give about 10 different reasons. But that person didn't analyze the chart that way. And then you'll have somebody come in and like, no, that's not this. And it's like, nah, if too much is left up to like analyzing when it comes to a strategy, I'm an analytical person to begin with. Okay. So I'm going to overanalyze myself out of every trade. It's always going to be that one thing where I'm like, nope, that invalidated that. But that's why I'm creating my strategy the way that I am, because I don't have the opportunity to overanalyze myself out of a trade. It's set in stone. Either the pattern looks like this and you take the trade, or it doesn't look like this and you sit out. That's simple. You think the other guy is Rob Smith with the strat? Not sure. His name is, I don't know about Rob Smith, but I know that this person, his name is Mac. I don't know his last name or anything, but I do know that his name is Mac. Let me see what the group. Yeah, it's called Mac's Price Action Day Trading. It's a group with like 9,000 people. They just privated it because they've been getting overran by scammers, but all Facebook groups are right now. But legit, the first thing that I see when I open up the group, right? Like, I never really see people posting their charts like, hey guys, I took this trade and it worked out and boom, there's a win. It's always somebody posting a chart and saying, I took this trade, why it didn't work. Like, this person said, can someone help me understand why this is not a risky trade? Looking at the 2 EL at right around 12.15 on this chart, I skipped it because the signal bar was huge. We're going long right into previous resistance, da 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 da. But see, the trade won. So he's trying to figure out, why did it win? It's supposed to be risky. This is not supposed to work. Yeah, I can't do it. I just can't. I just can't. Ay, ay, ay. 4 minutes. Definitely not gonna get no trades. And that also means that I won't be journaling for long today. I am enjoying the process of I did like having a second workspace open for my trades on the follower accounts to record automatically. However, I have noticed that the last couple of days of me not doing it, I've noticed a little bit less lag on the chart, but also it could not even be related because there's been no volatility this week. Last week was super volatile, and that's when I was having a lot of lag issues with my orders and stuff. So I don't know if it's related or not, but it has been importing properly. I don't have screenshots of the charts for the follower accounts, which is fine. Because if I ever wanted to go back and analyze within my online trade journal, I can always just like on a particular day go through all 4 of the trades for that, or the trade, and go through each of the accounts to figure out which one was my leader account at the time, or I could just look at my physical journal too. So yeah, but I was thinking about possibly at one point getting TradeZella, but I do know TradeZella limits you to 10 accounts, so I don't know how some people are importing for 20 accounts with them. I have to ask. But the trade journal that I use, which he doesn't take any more customers anymore, I like it because there's unlimited accounts, unlimited number of trades, and it's like $35 a month. I can't remember how much TradeZella was, but I know that this guy has one of the cheaper ones, and it automatically screenshots your charts and attaches it to your trades in the journal. So that's one of the reasons why I was interested in getting it. But I do like the interface of TradeZella way more. So I don't know. What do I use for journaling? First of all, I use a physical journal, which I need a new one. And in that journal is where on the left side, I write down all of my accounts, what the starting balance is. Then at the end of the day, I'll put, the ending balance, the P&L, and I'll put the win-loss ratio. So, 2-0-0-0 for 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 break-evens. And then the 4th number is like if something took profit before it entered me into the trade. So I do that. Right below that, I have a section where it's like P&L. Actually, I think I could show you. Let's see. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. But this is kind of what it looks like. So yeah, so at the top, that's what I do. I'll put any news that happens, list the accounts with the starting balance, P&L, ending balance, win-loss. Right below it, I do the P&L. So right there is where I do the full P&L, like what the gross profit or loss was, what the commissions were, that kind of thing. Then I put the thresholds right there. Right, so I just write those down. This number is the trailing drawdown, the balance you can't go below. And then the number here is how much drawdown I have left. So that's how I track it. This is where I write down all the trades where I didn't get filled. And then down here, I just have notes. And then on the second page is where I literally just write down all my trades for the day. And then below where I write down the trades that I actually took, I always have like didn't take / missing missed trades, and then I write all of those out, because sometimes I'm sitting out of trades because I don't have that rule solidified or something. So I'll just write, those down, and I color code how I write the trades down in the journal or whatever. So certain information I write in black ink, certain information I write in green ink, and certain information for the trade I write in red ink. And that just makes it to where when I'm trying to go through and look for like a certain variable, like, oh, I think this might be what's causing this to lose quite often, and I look through just those setups or whatever and those variables in red or in green, I can quickly identify. And then for my online trade journal, like I said, he doesn't even take any customers anymore. He closed that down. I think he actually creates indicators for trade devils, because I feel like a couple of months ago I had reached out. No, this was like late last year. I had reached out because there was a lot of people who wanted the trade journal. The online trade journal is called Improve Your Trade. And a lot of people wanted it because it's one of the only ones. I don't know any other trade journal where it actually screenshots your charts and attaches them. So automatically. So I reached out and he never responded to my email. So in the process of me just being on Trade Devil's website, I wasn't trying to purchase indicators or anything. I just wanted to look and see what they had, because some of these vendors, when you look at their descriptions of their indicators, you can actually learn some information. Like I learned what volume divergence was by going through, I think it was Trade Devil's order flow zigzag indicator, or one of the order flow indicators. I learned what volume divergence was, and I was like, oh my god, I think that this is the missing piece to me trading divergence on the Renko charts. And guess what it was? But anyway, so in the process of that, I think that's when I saw his name or something. I basically realized that they were connected. So I reached out to their support and I was like, hey, I saw like that you guys are affiliated or associated. I reached out to him via email because I got people trying to sign up for the trade journal and they can't, it doesn't go through. Can you reach out to him and let him know the website's not working? And they responded like, oh yeah, he's, focused on creating indicators. He's not allowing any more customers. I'm like, what? Why would he do that? And now when you go inside of the online trade journal, it actually will, it like all of the videos in there, they're all privated. But I'm just happy that he allows us to stay. He didn't kick us out. But yeah, I just like the interface of TradeZella a little bit more. But a lot of the features of TradeZella, I have the same features. It's just I like the way that one looks more. But yeah, so that's the end of the session, you guys. I'm sorry it was boring and I couldn't take trades, but price action was not actioning. So hopefully tomorrow and Friday we got a little bit more, since FOMC is in a few hours. I will show you guys the account balances and stuff. So account 21 is the one that I'm going to purposely fail no matter what Friday. And hopefully I actually fail it and I don't accidentally in the process pass it like I did with account number 20. That's now a PA. But yeah, so not doing that great. But I do, like I said, I believe that last Wednesday and then yesterday's sessions, I think that those are probably the worst of the worst that I'm going to see from here on out. Learned a lot of lessons, got some rules solidified. So I think that we should be able to be on the up and up from here on out. Even aside from me not taking those 2 trades early in the session that the entry bar were closed on the current open and prior close, even if I don't take those into account today, I should have just been break even. I just was stupid and took a trade 1 minute before news. Like I don't stop 1 minute before news. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. So not too bad. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for the great conversations today. Have a great rest of your day. And Rio, you have a great day too. Thank you guys. Bye. See you in the morning.